Well, this is different, isn't it? Usually we start off with my face, but I thought we'd be a little different today. First off, happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there, and special, and a special I love you to my mom, who I know watches these videos because she is the best mom ever and very supportive of everything that I do. So, I love you, Mom. For those of you who don't know, my name is Miss Veronica, and I promise you will see my face in a bit. I'm a Sunday school teacher at Mills Memorial Baptist Church. So with the introductions out of the way, I thought we would begin with, actually, this piece of paper. I thought this would be a good way to begin our lesson this week. Hold on. I got to make sure I get the orientation right. It's a weird... I want you to take a look at this paper. Just the white. I glued it to the blue background just so it was a little bit easier to see. But it's a very weird S zigzaggy shape. And it has this flappy thing that sticks up in the middle. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to go ahead and right off the bat, I want you to get a piece of paper. Okay, I want you to get a piece of paper. I want you to fold it in half and I want you to cut it. So you get a half sheet right here. Okay, so I want a half sheet of paper like this. Sorry, my camera's a little weird with me today, so my orientation's a little strange. Anyway, so what I want you to do with this piece of paper is I want you to try and make this. I want you to try to remake this shape using this piece of paper, okay? I'm going to give you a few minutes to do it. I'm going to play a little song while you figure it out, and then we'll talk about it, okay? See if you can't do it or not. So I'm going to go ahead and let you look at it here, okay? So there you go. That's what it looks like. It's a very weird thing, isn't it? Okay, and I swear this is one piece of paper. This came from a half sheet of paper. I'll give you one hint. It does involve scissors. So you are going to need scissors to do this. Okay? I'm going to give you a few minutes to figure it out. Okay? Are you ready? You got everything you need? If you don't, just pause the video. Don't take too long with this. Just try to figure it out. I'm just going to give you a few minutes. Are you ready? On your mark. Get set. Go! Okay, that's time. How many of you guys figured it out? Did any of you ask for help? Did you try and use Google or YouTube? Well, I'm going to show you how to do it, okay? So let me go ahead and move him out of the way. I'm going to get my half sheet of paper right here. And I'm going to grab my scissors. Now, it's actually quite simple. It's surprisingly simple, really. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go down the middle of this paper. Okay, so take your half sheet, take your scissors, and I want you to cut it pretty much down to the center, okay? So you're going to make one cut like that, okay? Then you're going to flip your paper around like so, and you are going to cut it into thirds. So you're going to make two cuts, one here and one here. So you have 3 pieces. Try to make it as even as possible, but I find that it's really not that big of a deal. Okay. Like that. So now what you have are 3 cuts. You have 2 on one side and 1 on one side. Okay? It kind of looks like a weird... I don't know what this looks like, to be honest. But this is the trick part. Okay? That's all you do is these 3 cuts. You're going to take the piece of paper. You're going to take one side and you're going to flip it. And what you're going to do is you're going to wrestle with the piece of paper, because it does take a little bit of wrestling, and you're going to crease it down that flap. So there's a crease. There's a crease, and it will stand up, I promise. Okay, just like that. So you're going to flip it. And there you go. It's done. That's all you need to do. You just need to take the piece of paper and flip it. That's the trick. Okay? There you go. Pretty easy, isn't it? I find that a lot of things in life are a lot easier once you know how to do them. I find that's true for a lot of things. And I also find that it's true in life that a lot of times, with life especially, we don't really know what to do. We always want help, you know? Some of us like to try to figure things out on our own, and some of us try to get help from others. In this day and age, there's a lot of get help books. We have Google, we have social media, we have friends with opinions, we have professors with 15 letters in front of their names. And we can go to all of them for advice to try to figure out what to do in certain situations. But in reality, there should only be one person that we should be going to with all of our questions. And he's a good person to go to because he knows everything. Who is that one person? God. Yeah. Today we're going to be talking about a woman who wanted to be a mother. Instead of going to friends or family or doctors for help on what to do, how to get pregnant, and things of that nature, instead she turned to the Lord in prayer. And she asked him, essentially, she turned and prayed to God for help. Today's story is about a very special woman who became a very special mother. Today we learn about Hannah. So, for those of you who like to open their Bibles, which I highly encourage that you open your Bibles for this, we're going to be in 1 Samuel, and we're going to be in chapter 1, okay? So that's where you're going to be during the story, and once you're there, please just sit down and go ahead and have a listen. I hope you guys enjoy. There was once a man named Elkanah. He lived in the hill country of Ephraim and had 2 wives, Hannah and Peninnah. Peninnah had children, and Hannah had none. Children are a blessing from the Lord, and in those days not having any was believed to be a punishment from God. So Peninnah, who was jealous of Hannah because Hannah was the favorite wife, would make fun of her because she had no children, and this made Hannah cry. Elkanah tried to comfort her. "Don't be sad just because you don't have children," he said. "You have me. Aren't I better than 10 sons?" But Hannah was still sad because she wanted to be a mother. One morning, while they were at the tabernacle for annual sacrifices, Hannah went out to pray. She wept and spoke softly so no one else would hear her. "Oh Lord," she prayed, "if you would look upon my sorrow and answer my prayer, please, please give me a son. If you do, I will give him back to you for his entire lifetime. I will dedicate him to you, Lord. Please." While she prayed softly, Eli, the head priest, was sitting in his seat outside the tabernacle. He saw Hannah kneeling there, and he saw her lips move, but he heard no words. This made Eli very angry. He thought Hannah was drunk in this sacred place, so he went over to scold her. "Woman, must you come here drunk? Get out of here and throw away your wine." Hannah pleaded with Eli. No, sir, I'm not drunk. I've had no alcohol. I'm discouraged and was pouring my heart out to the Lord. Please, don't think I'm a wicked woman. I'm a woman praying out of great anguish." Eli's heart went out to Hannah. The poor woman had red eyes from crying, and her voice was cracked. She was in great distress. "Go then," Eli said softly, "and may the Lord grant whatever it is you asked of him." "Oh, thank you, sir, thank you." So Hannah went back to her husband and was sad no more. A little while later, God answered Hannah's prayer. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son, and she named him Samuel, because she had asked God for him. When Samuel was weaned off milk, Hannah kept her promise to the Lord. She took Samuel to the tabernacle and brought the boy to Eli. "Sir," Hannah said, "do you remember me? I was that woman whom you thought was drunk all those years ago. That day, I asked the Lord for a son, and he has given me this boy. Now I am keeping my promise to the Lord and giving him back, and he will belong with the Lord his whole life." And Eli and Hannah worshipped the Lord there. Samuel remained in the tabernacle. He grew up there and would eventually become a prophet of the Lord. It was Samuel who would one day anoint a shepherd boy named David to be the next king of Israel. And this prophet's story began with a woman who went to the Lord in prayer. Hi guys! You finally see my face! It's going to be a very weird Sunday school this week. I'm mixing it up a little bit. I got to keep you guys on your toes. So, now you finally get to see my face again. It's time for our quiz portion of Sunday school. This week, instead of 10 questions, there's only going to be 7. And it's going to be true or false this week. So pretty much I'm going to say a statement, and if it's true, you'll say true, or you'll write down true. And if it's false, you'll say false. Okay, so if the statement's not true, you'll say false. As usual, I will say the question, give you a few seconds to answer or to write it down, and then I will give you the correct answer. If it's false, I will also tell you how to make it true, okay? Usually there's just going to be one word that's wrong in the false statements, okay? So, without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? Because I know that this Sunday school, it's going to run a little longer because of the craft portion. So I'm gonna go a little quick this time, all right? Okay, so question number 1. Hannah and her family went to the tabernacle to make sacrifices. The answer to that is true. They went to the tabernacle for annual sacrifices. Number 2, Levi was the high priest in the temple. That is false. His name was Eli, not Levi. I wonder how many of you that tripped up. I don't think very many, because you're all very smart. But I try. All right, number 3. When Eli saw Hannah praying, he thought she was tired. The answer is false. He thought she was drunk. Number 4. Hannah was sad because she didn't have a puppy. That's false. She was sad because she didn't have a child. I would also accept son specifically. But yeah, she didn't have any kids. Number 5. God answered Hannah's prayer and gave her a son. The answer is true. He did answer her prayer. Number 6. Hannah named her son Samuel. That is true. She did name him Samuel. And number 7, last one, Samuel would later anoint King Arthur. False. It was not King Arthur. It was King David, okay? All right. I know you all do a great job, so give yourselves a pat on the back because I know you all are great listeners. Okay. All right. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to flip the camera back down. You're not going to see a lot of me this week. I'm going to flip it back down, and we're going to do our crafts. Yes, I said crafts. There's 2. Like I said, it's kind of a weird week. All right, so let me just flip this camera and we'll go right into the crafts. Today is going to be a weird week, I feel, because craft time is going to be a little different too. I actually have 2 crafts for us to do this week. One of the crafts was kind of suggested, and I thought it was cool, but it didn't really go with the story. So we're going to do it anyway. This one goes with the story, but the other one's just going to be a freebie. So that's what we're going to do. This particular craft, the first one here, goes with the story, and it's very simple. And the other one is a bit more involved. Now, as far as the other craft is concerned, if it ends up being that you don't have the materials to do said craft, I apologize, but you should be able to do this craft. So either way, you should be able to do at least one craft. So for this first one, that's less involved, what you're going to need, and first off, what we're going to make here is, little praying hands. Then you open it up, and there's Hannah with the baby. Say, hi, Samuel. Okay, so that's a cute little craft. So I'm going to set this aside. What you're going to need for this is obviously the printout. It should be 2 pieces of paper. You have one that's the hands, and then one's that's Hannah and the baby, Samuel. You're going to need crayons, you're going to need glue, and you're going to need scissors. That's it. That's all we're going to need here. So, go ahead and open my crayons. If you could hear meowing, that's Rory. And what her meow translates to is, Mom, I'm hungry. Please stop what you're doing and go feed me. But I'm not going to right now. Okay. She thinks that she's starving all the time. So I'm going to move, actually, this over here. And can you see me? Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to color. As far as what you can color the hands, this bit if you want. You don't have to. It's your artwork. You can decorate the background if you want. You can make it look all pretty. You can leave it blank. It's really not a big deal. So do that. I'm waiting for Rory to hop up on the desk because I'm afraid she's going, yep, here she comes. Let's see if she gets on frame. Come on, Rory. Here she comes. Are you on frame? Oh, her tail hit the camera. And here she comes. There. Hi, Rory. Hi, Roar. You don't show your face on camera very often. It's usually Journey. Hello. I'm busy right now, sweetie. Come back later. I'll feed you supper when I'm done with the craft, okay? Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a good deal. I hope everyone's doing good on all this quarantining and all the social distancing. Hello, Journey. Hello, Rory again. Not much but really been going on around here. You know, lots of times I like to talk to my students about stuff that's happened, and we tell stories and such while we do crafts, and or, you know, before we start a lesson, I would get to know what's going on, but not much going on, it feels like, which is kind of sad. So you're just going to go ahead and color this real quick. If you have pets, I try to avoid them. Just gently prod them out of the way. And do the baby. Baby Samuel. Yeah, this week I was wondering, you know, it was going to be Mother's Day, and I thought, well, what mother should I do? And I really didn't want to do Mary, because, I don't know, I thought that was kind of obvious. And then I thought about doing, who was the other mother I thought about doing? Shoot, I can't remember. Anyway, I had someone else in mind, and then my mother, she goes, well, what about Hannah? And I was like, oh yeah, Hannah, she's a good one. So we went with Hannah. So this lesson is brought to you by my own mother. Moses' mom, I think, was the one I wanted to go with. She's another one that was very brave. Moses' mother. The women in the Bible, I feel, are much more subtly talked about, but they did, the women of faith, they did some amazing things. All right, so there's the middle, and I'm going to do the next piece. Okay, hands. So, it snowed on Friday. How about that, huh? How many of you guys saw that sleet, snow stuff? That was crazy. Just regular old Michigan weather, it feels like. I don't think spring ever has really gotten into swing here. My poor nephew, Owen, if you're watching. Hi, Owen. Hi, Sophie, if you happen to be watching. Anyway, he got all upset because he swore that since it was snowing that all the birds are going to fly away. And we had to explain to him, no, they're in it for the long haul. They're used to this. They're used to the Michigan weather here, where it all of a sudden decides to go all winter again on us. In no time at all, it's going to be so muggy that we're not going to want to go outside. The weather has been quite nice, though. I have been very, very grateful to the weather. My younger sister and I have been going for walks on nature trails during all of this. It's been really good to get out and blow the stink off us, as our mother used to say when we were little. That's what she'd say. We'd be cooped up in the house, and she'd go outside and blow the stink off you. Oh, man. Good times. Good memories. Okay. So once you got everything colored, you're going to take your scissors, and you're going to cut the hand out, okay, and just cut straight across here. And then on this side, you're just going to cut the outline. Don't cut here. Do not cut these. okay, because those are going to be folded. All right, so that's what we're going to do real quick. So do this one. Again, if you have trouble with scissors, you're not allowed to use scissors due to age or rules in the house, please get an adult to do so. If not, if you're practicing your scissors, take your time. If you want to know a trick as far as cutting with scissors, this is something, again, my mother showed me. Instead of you spinning the scissors, you spin the paper, leave the scissors the same orientation, and you spin your paper, and you'll get a better cut. You know, when I was a little girl, I was amazed by my mom's ability to cut through paper and crafts and such. And she goes, well, you don't move the scissors very much. You move them a little. But she says, move the paper. You know, leave the scissors kind of in the same spot and just spin the paper around the scissors, cutting as you go. And you get a better cut. So that's my mom's advice. I'm trying to make sure I keep everything in frame. If I get off a frame a couple times, I apologize. Doing the best I can with what I got. Right there. Another good trick for cutting is to cut in sections. So instead of, you know, cut that off, makes it a lot easier when you don't have a ton of paper trailing after you. Doesn't get caught as easy. So there's a few tricks for how to cut paper with scissors. There we go. Take your scraps, throw them away, or recycle them, whatever you decide to do. Hi, Rory. Did you find the empty box? All right. I have an empty box in my room, and Rory is proudly seated in it. Rory loves empty boxes. The only thing she loves more than empty boxes is empty laundry baskets. I don't know what it is about an empty laundry basket, but she will sit in that basket all day. All right. I hear my neighbor kids playing outside, which is always nice to hear. Like seeing a bunch of kids, seeing people outside playing or doing yard work. That's good. Okay. One more hand. Almost. There. All right, cool. Get rid of the scraps. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take this piece right here and you are going to fold it like that. You want to fold it right along this line. Like that. Okay. So there you go. So now I should be able to open, shut, open, shut. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your glue. And this is one thing I want you to pay attention to because I almost did this wrong the first time. You're going to want to, I don't know if it's just me, but I wanted to put this hand over here. That's wrong. You want to match them. Okay. So the thumb should be facing outward. I think I wanted to do it the other way because really our hands are like this. So really it should be that way. But this craft has them, I hate to say it, the hands are wrong. Well, maybe not. I guess it wouldn't be wrong if this was someone else's hands, you know, like covering the face, it would be correct. So think of it that you are covering your face because then the thumbs would be facing outward instead of like going like this. They'd be inward. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me being strange, but you know, something to watch out for. Okay. Tips with glue. You don't need a lot of glue. You don't need as much as you think you need. Okay, so put the glue down. And then you're going to put your hand down. You're going to line it up the best you can to the flap. It's kind of in a hand shape for you to put that in, like that. You're going to do it to the other side. Okay, a little bit of glue. Again, you're going to line it up the best you can. There you go. All done. All right. There we go. Nice little craft. So now you have little Hannah, and this actually stands up too. So there you are, praying hands. Hannah prayed for a son, and she got her son. The Lord answered her prayer. All right, very nice. So that's our first craft. I'm going to go ahead and do kind of like a cut so I can reset everything. And then I'll go over the next craft then. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, now we're going to go on to the bonus extra craft. For this one, this is what it looks like. It's a little church, and he has little doors open. And the cool thing about this one is the back has, I use tracing paper, but I'll show you other things you can use. When you hold it up to the window or to the light, it looks like stained glass. So that's really cool. And that's going to be the part that I don't know if you guys have access to these things, but I hope you can. I hope you do. I have alternatives outside of tracing paper. I have tracing paper because those of you who know me know I do a lot of artwork, and tracing paper is your friend. So, so this is the next craft we're going to do. And if you want, you can always like punch a hole in it and hang it up in your window so it looks like stained glass. You can, I didn't do any of these because I'm going to leave it up to you. You can always put it on a bigger piece of paper. You can make a card out of it. This is just kind of an extra thing for us to do. Okay. I think it's kind of appropriate, not with this lesson, but just remind us of church, of getting together in the church. I can't wait for that day to happen again. It's nice for these digital sessions, but I miss y'all. I really do. I even told my parents, I said, you know, when this quarantine's over, man, you better watch out because there's going to be a lot of hugging. I'm going to be hugging a lot of people. So for this craft, you're going to need the printout. As far as the printout's concerned, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do it yet. It's either going to be a link online or it's going to be a picture you can save, or it's going to be both. I'm not sure because this particular thing is a physical book. So I'll deal with that as it comes. So try to get the printout. You're going to need tracing paper. If you do not have tracing paper, you can use wax paper, or what's another one? Parchment paper. Those are used in baking. So you can use those as well. If you have none of those, you could always just use saran wrap and not color it so it looks like glass. Or if push comes to shove, don't even cut out the windows and just color them in. Or you can cut them out and then you'll have little holes and then put construction paper on the back. It won't be transparent in the light, but at least it'll look a little bit more like stained glass. There's many ways to do this, so the choice is yours based on what you have and the materials that you have access to. So the printout, if you can get something like this, you're also going to need scissors. Oh my goodness, excuse me. I yawned. Scissors, glue, and crayons again. All right, and as always, we're going to start off by coloring the piece. So we'll do that real quick. So do this. This is kind of a impromptu craft. But why not? Why not? Right? We got a lot of time on our hands. We can do this. No big deal. Man, I'm trying to think about something we can talk about. Can't really think of anything. Am I that boring? Ooh. Let's see. Do that. And then we'll do... I'm going to do a silver church this time, because why not? Why not? Some people have been sending me cards and pictures. Thank you for that. I absolutely love getting mail. I sent out mail of my own. It's always nice to do. Get some snail mail in this world, in this fast-paced world of email. Somebody even did a comic that I saw on the internet a while ago that showed back in the 80s, you know, you'd get 80s and 90s. Well, when would it have been? Would have been the 90s, I guess, or the early 2000s. I don't remember when. But back then, you know, we'd get all excited because we got an email. We had tons of snail mail. And now it's the opposite. We get really excited for snail mail and we get like thousands of emails. It's flipped. I thought that was kind of cute. If you want, you can do patterns on your church. Make it look really pretty. Pretty church. I love visiting different churches. I've been to Europe before and, you know, saw a lot of Gothic style churches, Byzantine style. I will say this, once you've seen one Gothic church, you've seen them all. Really, they all look pretty similar. All very grandiose looking cathedrals. With their high ceilings and their vault ceilings, you know, with the ribs, that's what they're called. And then they have what's known as flying buttresses on the outside. And I remember when I used to take art history class, we did medieval art history class, and we were talking about the flying buttresses, and we all thought that was a really funny word. And the teacher's like, settle down, it's not that funny. Yeah, kind of is. Oh, man. Alright. So, once you got it colored, again, if you can't, you can color these and just cut it out and leave it at that. Or you can go the extra bit, which is what we're going to do. And you're going to cut it out. You're going to cut out along the outside, okay? Let's start with that. Ignore this up here. That's for another craft, and we might do that one too. I read it, and both of them I liked, so maybe next time I have, well, not next week, but the next time I have Sunday school, we'll do the stained glass one as well. We'll see how it goes. And cut. Cut. Okay. If you want to, these instructions also said that you can, there are instructions right here on the make a church part. It does say you can print it out on heavy construction paper and then you can fold this back and it'll stand up. Feel free to do that. This is quite the versatile little thing we can do. Okay, now for the hard part. This is where we go into a bit more of the advanced setting. We got to cut these out. Now, I own an X-Acto knife with a self-healing mat. And I could do that, and it'd be really neat and really tidy. But I'm not going to do that because I don't know how many of you have access to an X-Acto knife with a healing mat. So, if you do not have that, and also, I highly doubt even if you did, your parents would let you use it because those are sharp knives. What you can do is you can take a pencil and you can make a hole on the corners, like that. And that way you can get the scissors in to this spot. So that's one way to do it. Because lots of times it's just getting it started. And then you can just cut along. There you go. See? Easy peasy. Okay, so if you don't have an X-Acto knife, and even if you did, if you're not allowed to be near the X-Acto knife, which I don't blame the parents because it was years before I was even allowed near an X-Acto knife in my house because they are so sharp. This is a way to do it, is just to take a pencil and give yourself some holes to cut from, like that. And that just helps because it's somewhere for your scissors to go. Now, please, if you use the pencil method or the pen or just something to poke a hole in there, please be careful because I remember, and I'll show you here in a second, when I was a little girl, I was doing crafts upstairs in my room. It was towards bedtime, so we had a little bit of time after supper to play or do whatever before we had to get ready for bed. And so I was upstairs, and I remember it very vividly. I had a paper plate, and I wanted to make a craft out of this paper plate. And I don't remember what exactly I was trying to make here, but I do remember it was a paper plate. And I remember I wanted a hole in the middle of the paper plate as a means to cut, because I wanted to hollow out the middle. So I thought, hey, I'll use a pencil. I'll get a hole in there to stick my scissors, and they'll be fine. Well, I distinctly remember it. I had the paper plate. So if you imagine the paper plate is in my hand, I took the pencil and I stabbed right through into my hand. Don't do that. I screamed. Oh my goodness. And I had graphite. I think it might still be there. It's very faint. But that graphite, I think, is still in my hand. I don't think it ever came out. I think my body's just accepted it. I think it might be a tourist attraction for my cells. And if you look to your right, you'll see the graphite that that Veronica stabbed through her hand when she was 7 years old. Oh, man. All right. So once that's done, another method you can use besides the pencil is you can always fold up the piece and then make a little cut. That works too. I've seen it done both ways. So, if you really want it to be clean though, find yourself an X-Acto knife and beg your parents to cut it for you with a self-healing mat. All right. There. You want to do a T shape on the doors. You don't want to cut the dotted lines because that's going to be folded out. Okay, so you're going to cut the doors into a T shape. Like that. So you can fold them out. There we go. All right. Okay. So that's what you should be having right now. That's what you have. Now, you're going to take your wax paper, parchment paper, tracing paper, construction paper, whatever you decide to use, and you're going to lay your church on top. This is what I did. I literally drew an outline for me. For myself. This may be the hard way to do it. I don't know. But set this aside. And then you're going to take crayons and you are going to color in these spots. You can be fancy if you want. You can do like patterns if you wish. I'm not going to do that because, again, I'm on a time crunch, so I do not have the time you guys do because I have to fit the Sunday school lesson in a certain time frame. So I'm going to go quick. Okay. And as an added thing that you can do, is you can always go over it with white, and that smooths it out. So I want to do that right now. Okay, once you're done with that, you gotta cut them out. Now, do not cut them on the line because you need it to be a little bit bigger than the actual line because it's got to fit. You got to glue it to the back. So you want what's known as a bleed. You want that around the pieces. Okay. And then for this one, what I did is I cut them all in one big chunk. You don't need to cut them out individually. Just give yourself a little bit of a chunk. Okay, that should work. Put this to the side. That's my computer. Ignore it. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take all your pieces. All right. Man, I hope I'm not going too fast. All right, you're going to take all your pieces. You're going to flip your little church over. Shut the doors. Okay, and then you are going to put this. See, we're going to be gluing right along here. So you're going to take your glue. And you are going to go around. You're going to do the same thing over here. Go around. Go between. Okay, now you're going to take it and you're going to put it right there in the hole. Line it up the best you can. Like that. All lined up. Push it down. And there you go. There we go. Perfect. Pretty. All right, and like I said, then, let's see if I can't get, can I get it doing it? You can see it kind of glows, okay? You really can't tell on the camera, which is a bummer, but trust me, hold it up to your window in the sunlight, and it'll look like stained glass. And if you want, you can put a hole right here, get a hook, and you can hang it up in your window if you want. Like I said, you can put it on a piece of construction paper, whatever you want to do. This is kind of just a bonus craft for you to play around with for fun. In case you get bored this week. We always got to have stuff to do, don't we? All right, so there we are. Okie dokie. So there's our 2 crafts for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed this little art and craft section of Sunday School. I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera up and we'll go ahead and do our closing and we'll be done. All right. Okay, guys, this is it for the Sunday School session this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoy putting it together. Oh, there was a Rory cameo back there. I will never be as popular as my cats. Never. I have been told that a lot of people watch just to see the cats. Maybe I'll have the cats do it next time. I knew I couldn't compete. They're too fuzzy. All right. There's no competition there. All right. So let's go ahead and sing a song before we end things with a prayer. Let's go ahead and sing Go Tell It on the Mountain. I don't think we've sung that one yet. I try to do a different song every week, but I don't believe we've sang that one yet. So this is the one we're going to sing. If you know the words, please, I encourage you to follow along. If you don't know the words, you are more than welcome to just listen or to try to sing it. I won't know whether you know the song or not. So, a lot of ambiguity when it comes to these virtual things. So, all right, let's go ahead and sing Go Tell It on the Mountain. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. When I was a seeker, I sought both night and day. I asked the Lord to help me, and he showed me the way. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. He made me a watchman upon a city wall, and if I am a Christian, I am the least of all. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Great singing, you guys. All right. Let's go ahead and close with a word of prayer, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Mother's Day and a great rest of your week. All right. Let's go ahead and bow our heads, close our eyes, and pray. Dearest Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the day that you've given to us. I thank you for the wonderful weather that we have been having, Lord, and I thank you for keeping everyone safe during these difficult times. I pray that you will continue to bless us, Lord, and continue to protect us and from the flu. And I also pray that you will lift this flu soon, Lord, and that we'll be able to get back together in the church, Lord. I thank you for all that you do. Now I pray that you bless this day and all that we do, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, guys. That's it. So I will see you in about 2 weeks when it's my turn again. Oh, another Rory cameo. That's 3. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye.